We're with Ryan Tegnelia. Ryan is a criminal defense lawyer in San Diego, California. He's agreed to answer some questions related to homicide and homicide charges. These questions were posted online, so hopefully you'll get your answer right here. Let's go into the first question. Are all homicides equal when it comes to punishment?
Absolutely not. Homicides range in, from something called misdemeanor manslaughter, which is, which involves usually car accidents, up until, premeditated, first degree murder. And so obviously there's a huge range of consequences within that spectrum. And so it depends a lot on, when we're talking homicide cases, it depends a lot on the person's mental state when they did it, and how they did it, and what their connection to it was. For example, if the murder is committed with a firearm, then the potential prison time is colossally increased. And then we are still nominally a death penalty state. So if you kill people for certain reasons or in certain ways, then you are eligible for the death penalty. If you kill a law enforcement officer to keep them from testifying, if you kill a juror or a judge, to keep them from performing their duties, if you poison someone to death, those are all death penalty eligible. And then, and then we have the whole spectrum in between. So it's not at all uncommon for murder cases to boil down to, what a person was thinking when they did it. Is this premeditated murder? Is it just second degree murder? Or, was it more of a reckless thing? In which case we're talking in the manslaughter range, and, and we're not looking at life in prison anymore. And so there is a great range, and successfully defending a homicide case takes a lot of experience and a lot of time. Those cases are going to be around for a very long time. Even the most simple of cases is going to take several months, strike that, not several months, is going to take, a year or more. And that's even for the simple ones. And so it is very important, if you are in any way related to a homicide charge, that you meet with an experienced attorney that can help, guide you through that process.
All right, excellent. Next question we had is, if someone dies in a car accident, well, if someone dies in a car accident, but I was doing everything right, meaning I was not drunk or speeding, will I still go to jail?
Oh, well, this actually kind of piggybacks on the last one. I mentioned on the previous question something called misdemeanor manslaughter. And what that is when someone commits some sort of, negligent act, usually a vehicle code violation, like running a stop sign, and they get into an accident, results in the death of another person. That is a homicide case. It's misdemeanor manslaughter. And obviously it's not anywhere near, being punished for, intentionally killing somebody. But what you're asking is, if you were involved in an accident and you hadn't done anything wrong. Well, if there was an accident and you hadn't done anything wrong, then that means that they did something wrong. And so, no, you would not be punished if someone else caused an accident in which they killed themselves. So just to give a very stark example that'll I think demonstrate this. If you are on a public highway, but you are legally just stopped at a red light, and a drunk person is, texting on their phone going 75 miles an hour, and they run into you and they end up killing themselves, you would not be charged with a crime in that instance. However, like I said, if you ran a stop sign, or you were speeding, or you neglected some other duty that you had, and that ended up killing somebody, even if it was just an accident, you could be charged in that instance.
Okay. The last question we had was, who's more guilty when it comes to the punishment? A person that planned the homicide, or one who carried it out?
Exactly the same. When we're talking about the spectrum of homicides, there is such a thing as accomplice liability and the aiding and abetting theory. So if an individual is instrumental in planning the murder or carrying it out, even if they aren't the quote unquote trigger man, then they're going to be charged with it for the same thing as the shooter. That is not true of being an accessory after the fact. So if someone else on their own volition commits a murder and then you in some way help them after and you didn't know about it, then that's not punished as severely, although it is still a crime, accessory after the fact. But if you assist in a murder by either planning it or maybe procuring a gun, just as an example, procuring the murder weapon, or luring the person to a place where they're going to be killed, then you are every bit as culpable, and you'll be sitting right next to the shooter in court.
Okay, excellent. That makes sense. If you have any other questions for Ryan, just post them in the comments section below. Thanks for your time, Ryan.
Yes, thank you. And also you can call us at 619-577-0868 if you have any other questions. Thanks.
Thank you.